we can get into our top 3 in no particular order, things that we would, I guess, pitch to Disney to improve around the park. Sort of similar to the things they've already done, the things they're going to be doing in the future. And like I said, we're not trying to pitch things that are like that will cost Disney a bunch of money. This is just sort of things that we think they could do, not necessarily in time for the opening of Galaxy's Edge, but around the same time. Maybe they'll be done, I don't know, like a few months after. Yeah, things that won't cost a lot of money. I do have one that might cost a lot of money, but we'll see. I guess I'll start this time. Let's see, my first suggestion is to remove the rocks in front of the Astro Orbiter in the entrance of Tomorrowland. Let me get to the picture, which is interesting because there were these images. This was taken a few days ago, I believe, of Disney sort of disassembling the Astro Orbiter almost entirely. And I personally have no idea what they're doing. They might just be repainting it, or they could be taking it down for good. Probably not. If any of you have any ideas on what they could be doing to this, definitely let us know, because I'd like to know. But yeah, the rocks in front of the entrance to Tomorrowland. I think we talked about that a couple, like last year sometime, about how there were plans in place to remove part of them, or at least remove some of the rocks. I mean, we've yet to see any progress on that, which is sort of making me wonder, maybe this is part of that whole thing, removing the rocks. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas on what this construction here could be, let us know. So that's my number 1. Alex, what is your number 1 that you made?
My number 1 would be over by where the People Mover platform is, there's the Tomorrowland Terrace seating area literally like goes out into what used to be a walkway and then is butted up against the People Mover platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that significantly decreased the size of the walkway, literally by half. It created a pinch point by reducing the walkway to 50% of its size, simply because people couldn't make a left around the People Mover platform. So, my idea was to reconstruct the seating area of Tomorrowland Terrace to create a smaller footprint that is built on a 2-story seating area.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is to once again free up the space that was a walkway on the left-hand side of that thing, and that would create so much more room to get rid of the pinch point there over by Star Trader, and would prevent people from having to go all the way around the People Mover platform just to go to the monorail or to Autopia. You know what I mean? So, so that was my number 1 idea.
That sounds like a very good idea. Thank you, Alex. I've still yet to come up with my 3rd one, but while Alex is explaining his 2nd one, I'm sure it'll end up coming to me. But this is the one that I was talking about earlier, how it might be sort of troubling of how they would do this. My number 2 is to reorganize, or I guess redo the entire entrance to Pirates of the Caribbean, because in my opinion, that's one of the worst parts in all of the park, well, when it comes to crowds. Especially with the sort of raised bridge they have over the entrance of Pirates, that can get congested a lot. I've just sort of yet to figure out how they would reorganize it, because there's not really no area whatsoever to do that. And I guess, to be honest, I really do think that what we have now is the best it's gonna get, unless they, I don't know, I guess they could remove maybe some of the area behind the Tarzan's treehouse. They have like a Moana meet and greet over there, Maybe they could remove some of that, add the more queue off to the left side of the attraction. Yeah, all I know is that that area is almost always congested, especially during Phantasmic, especially when Pirates has like a 50-minute wait. The queue goes all around, almost up onto the bridge. It loops around almost, it takes up a lot of space. So that is my number 2. Alex, what about you? What is your number 2?
Can I kind of add on to your Pirates of the Caribbean idea before I tell what my number 2 idea is?
Yeah.
So I think you have something there when it comes to reconfiguring the Pirates of the Caribbean queue. I think what Disney should do when it comes to Pirates of the Caribbean and the pinch point in that area is they should get rid of Tarzan's treehouse.
Yeah.
Like, completely. And just a moment. I have to do something. Someone's at the door.
Okay, no problem. I guess we'll have to stall until Alex gets back. So how's your guys' day been so far? Mine's been pretty good.
I'm back.
Oh, that was fast. Okay.
Yeah, it was just a package at the door.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. So, what was I saying? Okay, so I was thinking Disney could remove Tarzan's treehouse altogether because it's not even ADA compliant anymore. So, poor people in wheelchairs who can't get out of the wheelchairs can't go up into the treehouse to see the exhibits and stuff like that. So it's just pretty much useless. And so I was thinking, in the space that was Tarzan's treehouse, they could create a completely shaded outdoor queue for Pirates of the Caribbean that, of course, is shaded by the jungle trees and stuff like that from the area, well, that it's in. And this extra queue won't necessarily get rid of the big queue and courtyard that is beneath the entrance to Pirates, but it will get rid of, I think, the extended queue made of ropes that wrap around the entrance to Pirates and go over the bridge and stuff like that. So while we may not be able to get rid of the bridge necessarily, I do think that using the footprint that was once part of Tarzan's treehouse would be this great space to create shaded standing queue for Pirates.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a good idea. I'm just trying to visualize everything. It's kind of choppy here on the Google Maps, but yeah, I guess you guys get the idea. But anyways, Alex, what is your number 2 ways Disney can improve guest flow?
Okay, my number 2 idea was to completely just get rid of the Astro Orbit in front of Tomorrowland. I know, like, a lot of people talk about the French fry rocks, and while they do, present an issue, I'm not going to deny that. They probably should be removed. The bigger issue at hand is also the fact that the Astral Orbiter itself takes up a lot of space. And then on top of that, the queue for the Astral Orbiter, which is right behind it, as you can see on to the right of circle, that queue is really wide. It's like around 20 feet wide. And it just takes up this huge amount of space right there between the entrance to Star Tours and Buzz Lightyear. And that's a major critical pinch point right there between those two attraction entrances. And the last thing you want is to have this big queue for a spinner ride right there. So that queue needs to go, and so does the Astral Orbiter. Just free up the entrance of the land, and in my opinion, they can replace the Astral Orbiter with a smaller, like, fountain or something that that welcomes you to the entrance of Tomorrowland. So honestly, that's what I think they should do. So are you writing a review for the orbiter.
Yeah, I gave it 1 star,
Wow.
and hopefully Disney really looks at this feedback that I provided them, and improves the ride further. um, yeah, I agree though. Very good point, Alex. I have to like move my mic to talk when I'm looking at the map. Cause yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen in this area, like Alex said, it's very congested up here. I mean, especially with even just the Tomorrowland track or the People Mover tracks that are there. It just makes it even worse. Can you guys see me? In my opinion, and the queue just like adds on extra 5,000 congested points to the, I don't know what I'm trying to say, to the area. But yeah, and while I brought up this map, I don't think this is necessarily the best change, but there was talk, we were talking about this the other day on the Discord. For my number 3, I think Disney could remove Pixie Hollow. You know, I don't think there's much use for Pixie Hollow anymore. And according to some people in the Discord, they only have Tinkerbell there anyways, not any of the other. One of them's name was Fawn, the other was Vivia? Something like that. I feel like
Vivity Vovity?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I feel like this area could be used a lot better than it currently is. Maybe even just as like an extension to the show building here for Astro Blasters if they decide to, I guess extend the building, or I guess when they do eventually demolish all of Tomorrowland, which I hope they do, they can use this area as sort of I don't know, like another attraction or something. I mean, yeah, it's not much. Pixie Hollow, I mean, I'm sure there's fans of meeting the fairies. I mean, I guess they'd have to relocate Tinkerbell and her friends to like a different place. I can't really think of a better place to relocate her to, but I do personally think that it's a big waste of space. This pond is nice though. Maybe that can stay. They can incorporate that somehow to now that I think about it, I'd like the entrance of Tomorrowland to be like the Magic Kingdoms, with like a little bridge that goes over like a lake or something. I feel like that'd be neat. They can keep the pond right there, as long as they remove Pixie Hollow and put like a better attraction or something in its place. They can fit 2 more.
The castle moat used to extend to the entrance of Tomorrowland, right there where Pixie Hollow is today.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was all part of the moat, and then they got rid of the moat for the House of the Future. And then after the House of Future, it then came the little garden area there. But yeah, I agree. They should get rid of Pixie Hollow. It takes up way too much space that they could be using for something else. Or if anything, like they could relocate like Tinkerbell, like maybe in like a much smaller setting. I don't know, somewhere else in the park. I don't know. Just pick like a Fantasyland planter and then put a little like Tinkerbell hut in there for you to go in and say hi,
Mm-hmm. I mean, they could even use it for just like stroller parking, like half of it, or just extra viewing for the parade, and for the fireworks. I feel like that'd be much better use than what it is now. Like I said, they could keep the little pond there. It's really pretty as long as they just like clean it up a bit. But yeah, really, like I said, these whole rocks are just awful. Everything in Tomorrowland is just awful. It's just so... Hey, I wonder what this building is used for. Does anybody know what this big round building is used for?
Which one? What?
This big round one right here. I have no idea what this is used for.
The video is on a delay, so I don't... What?
The big round one right here.
I don't know what you mean. Wait. Oh, okay, there we go. Finally you're circling the building. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what they use.
Yeah, I heard there used to be...
it must not be worthwhile.
Yeah, I heard there used to be like a really great attraction that used to be there, but then they got rid of it and replaced it with nothing.
Oh,
So
that's just a myth.
it's
Why
just
would
a
Disney put such a? Why would no? It's a myth. Why would Disney put action there just to take it out and replace it with nothing?
I mean, that's a good point. We will have to find out. And if anybody in chat knows what this building is used for, please let me know. But anyways, if you guys couldn't tell, I was just being sarcastic. That's where I met Darth Vader.
Not normally that oblivious.
I think that's it. No, wait, you have your number 3, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what it is. I think I have it on our messaging thingy. Still looking for it. Okay, found it. Okay, so I think Disney should move the teacups. The teacups are in just thematically, they're in a really good area, but because they're right in front of in Wonderland, and that it makes sense to have the teacups there. Unfortunately, it just takes up so much space in what's become a really bottlenecked area over the past couple decades, and I don't want them to get rid of the teacups because I love the teacups myself, and I think they're really nice, and it's a classic Disney attraction. I just think Disney needs to move them somewhere else. I don't exactly know where yet, but I don't know. Or if not the teacups, because it's hard to find where they are. Don't you rate it? Jeez. Or if not if not moving the teacups, then what they do need to move is they need to get rid of Storybook Land.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but I'm one of the people that believes that Storybook Land doesn't need to be there anymore. It takes up a lot of space, and they could use some of that space for walkways, planters, and gardens, and then as well as free up more room in Fantasyland. They could even use the northern half of the space that is where Storybook Land is for future expansion onto the area where Fantasyland Theater is. So, and I don't want to see Casey Jr. Circus Train go, but if they ever do replace Casey Jr. Circus Train with a more, updated version of Casey Jr. Circus Train, then I'd be all for it. But yeah, I think something needs to happen in that walkway, and something needs to be bulldozed.
Yeah. Well, I have a newfound appreciation for Casey Jr. since I've actually seen Dumbo now. So I don't want Casey Jr. to go anywhere. But I will agree, Storybook Land, the boats itself, not really my favorite. Not really I have to go on Storybook Land before we leave the park today. Especially on hot days when it's really hot and the sun beats down on you. There's really no shade. I really think. Yeah. I was gonna say. Oh, go ahead.
We keep talking over each other.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go. I think it's really. Am I talking into the mic fine? I think it's really either. I guess not necessarily get rid of the teacups, but I feel like it's either move the teacups or get rid of Storybook Land, because I agree this area is up there, my top 5 worst places to be during crowded times of the day, because even during the parades they split this walkway in two and have 2 different lanes of traffic going two separate ways in and out of the land. And I think they might even split it in 3 lanes, because I remember when we went in December, we were trying to get to Small World. It might have been like right after the parade ended, because we wanted to see Small World light up for the fancy light up thing. And I remember we couldn't turn left. We could either go right, and to turn left we had to like walk back around the little chain link fence thing that they had and go around that way. So
yeah, because that was a parade crossing point for people. So they had this, like, they used ropes to create this little like paddock area for people to stand and wait to cross the street.
Yeah.
So that was really confusing, because everybody was getting into that spot thinking that they were waiting just to move down towards Small World. But instead, it was just people waiting to cross the street, and it was just annoying, because then we had to fight traffic to get around the rope, just so we can get in the right spot of the walkway to go up towards Small World. So yeah, I think Storybook Land, I think they need to they can keep most of the canals if they want, but the entrance area and the loading area of the ride and the Monstro and all that needs to go and create more walkway space.
You know, I bet if they moved the teacups up a little bit past where the entrance to Storybook Land is, that would free up this really huge chunk of space right here for this whole walkway to be widened. And then they can maybe even expand the Alice queue out here a little bit, maybe make like a new themed queue for it. Maybe they won't necessarily have to get rid of Monstro, but I'm thinking maybe they could reconfigure Storybook Land, because in this scenario they move Mad Tea Party up here a little, just barely past where the entrance to Storybook Land is. That gives like I said, all this area for walking space, for viewing space, for the parades. Maybe they can move the entrance to Storybook Land over here on the opposite side where the Red Rose Tavern is. Maybe they can, like Alex was saying, they could I guess maybe Galaxy's Edge would almost get in the way, but
they can't put it there because because that's where you board Casey Jr.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you'd have to get around the track.
Yeah. Well, this is quite the predicament. I still feel like it'd be better if they maybe just shortened Storybook Land up to maybe like right here, and then just move the Mad Tea Party up here in some area, and then they can figure out the rest, because I don't know how to fix this part. But yeah, I think just moving Mad Tea Party up here would work almost perfectly. If they do decide to get rid of Casey Jr. and Storybook Land, that would like work perfectly in their favor. But yeah, that's just a theory, a Disney theory. And I think that wraps up. You already gave your third. Yeah, your third was the teacups. So on that note, I would like to hear everybody's theory on how... Hey there, Mountaineers. Hope you enjoyed this short excerpt from the recent podcast, and if you did, be sure to check out the full episode. The link will be in the description.